Okie doke. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm back for another stream. Today, I mean, for no one's watching yet, but for all those who are tuning in later, tonight I'm going. It's sort of a potpourri. Back in 2005, I had a short, sort of an aborted set of photos. Not many, about 20. That's not really enough for a night's stream, but I also had a number of photo sets from more personal activities like graduations and parties and whatnot. And I'm going to be, each of those had a few photos. So I put together sort of mix and match here, and I'm just going to do them all out. So it's a bunch of NEC stuff, some pictures at 30th Street, some pictures at Penn Station. I don't know. We'll figure it out where it all is. Hey, Brian. Good to see you there. Glad you got the notification. We'll see who shows up. I know that a lot of states are quote-unquote reopening, but not much is going to be reopening until, we reduce the risk of unexpected death. So we'll see who tunes in, and hopefully we'll get a big crowd. Well, I don't know. I don't care. I got to do this one way or another. All right. So, like I said, the first bunch of photos were from an NEC trip back in 2005. Nothing super special about it. But we'll see what's here. Because, like I said, sometimes I can find some gems, especially when I used to be like, see this blurry crap photo? Like, I'm sure that I might have deleted this back in the day, so I have no idea if I would have been like, oh, that's no good. And then, Dock Tower is now closed. And, so it's always nice to find those sort of blasts in the past. But it's a good picture of Dock from the side. There's an interesting thing about Dock, which is in Newark for those of you who don't know. It's always I always see it from the path side, and I didn't realize there was actually I never would see the bay window there. Man, I do have some inside photos of Dock, but I would have there's a tower I would have loved to have gotten inside. I mean, it's still there, but that's still a neat place to be. See what I'm doing here. Good enough. This is actually interesting because I forget. I think Dock closed in 2017, and it was around this time in 2005 where new relay huts started popping up, and I thought for sure this is. I think people said, oh, they're doing trenching work around Dock. That means it's going to close, and then it didn't close for another 12 years. Let me just find a quick diagram here of Dock, because I don't know, everything's all over the place. There we go. Just want to make sure that's the 91 switch there. Oops. Got the quality up a little too high. Hey, got some Hellgate line things here. Not entirely certain. So here, first I got to straighten this out. Then I got to figure out which signals these are. This has got to be coming back. So the first one I was heading east. And this one looks like I'm taken from a train that's going west. So I don't know what the heck's going on here. But good news is, here it is. I got some photos recently on the, oops, no, that's not what I needed. Where is this? I know I did some shoreline, Hellgate line stuff recently. I just gotta find the photos. This one? Let's see. Here we go. So which signals are those? Probably the ones I didn't take pictures of. There they are. It's the Signal 121. And that train is going eastbound or westbound. Alright, fair enough. See, this is going to jump around a bit because, like I said, this is sort of a small set. I think I went on a trip, and I was taking a lot of NEC trips back then. And so many that I just, like, it was just, I think I had a long distance relationship going on, so I was like once a month I was on the NEC, and I just sort of wasn't thinking of it anyway. I think it's 122. I think that would be track 1 is the closer one there. Sorry, that'd be track 2. I know that I did Hellgate line recently, probably on one of these streams. I just don't know where those photos would be. Here we got some. Oh, this is a surprisingly nice picture of the Bronx River Bridge. Pretty sure, yeah, that's Bronx River. Of course, these are no longer movable. Sorry, don't have a ton to talk about here. I think this is the 90 signals. 91. I don't even have I don't have my documentation here either. Are these 90? Does that say 90? I think that's 90. Because one of them, it's PRR style, so it's one of them's odd and one of them's even, but it's not a convention. It's not like all westbounds. I mean, it's not like it's yes. One direction is odd and one direction is even. I'm pretty sure, but you don't know how they average it. You know, sometimes the other one is lower, sometimes the other one is higher. It depends on where on the mile they fall. And like I said, so you know what? I actually have a way to find this out. I have these. I can search through my photos. At least this will give me a better view. Yeah, so it's 91. See, I don't have the opposite direction. This is like the one place where I have the opposite direction. The main reason is that I don't have opposite direction is because if I'm heading south these days, it's at night. Back when I was in grad school and dating someone, I didn't really matter when I wasn't like, oh, I got to get back to work the next day, so I'm going to spend all, I wasn't trying to maximize for time away, so I could just grab a cheap morning train, and didn't matter. Now it does not. I can always. I think that's 90. Okay, now the other thing that I was looking for here was to get pictures of county interlocking. Now that never had pneumatics, and this is after it got rebuilt. But I think this is still sort of early in the period where the fancy new movable point frogs were new. So I wanted to go and sort of figure out what was going on with county. Also, I think I'd heard that it had been reconfigured, that they were doing stuff with it. So I went out and was like, what have they done with it? And then I found out they didn't do anything. They just swapped the switches out with the new movable point frog ones, which are not, these aren't any faster. They're just smoother. So normally I would have, I would in theory have like a thing to tell me what the switch numbers were, but I don't have that with me. But NEC uses a programmatic way of doing their switches. And so that means it's based on track number. And I have this handy dandy little, one of those old blockstation.net diagrams as my little cheat sheet, because this is a 6-track full crossover and has every possible combination. So if you look, if you use this diagram, which is number A8, so here we have the interlocking. This is pointing eastbound. So over here, you can't see me point with my finger, but I can point with a mouse. That would be the 34 switch and the 21 switch here at county. And I've forgotten which ones those were already. 34, 21. Another interesting thing at county, if you can see this, well, hold on, let me just, let me save this and unresize. One interesting thing, before they put in new signals, it was one of the few places on the NEC that was using that PR system of having the lower head not have backings for the restricted slash or the what I would call the slow slash. It did there. But here, there are no backings. And here they put 2 single backings on the lower head. It's sort of a parts bin solution there. All of those got replaced by newer ones with LEDs. It looks nice at night, but beyond that, it sort of ruined that little bit of uniqueness there. County is an interesting interlocking because of how it has the escape, the access tracks for the Jersey Avenue MU yard. Instead of being a typical, you'll see, as a typical 4-track crossover where you have the outer ones and the center 2 have a little crossover, and then it has the outer 2 again. It does it out of order to serve where the yard is, the yard lead. It also has a second yard lead, but that isn't really often used. So here we have go to my cheat sheet. This is going to be the 23. So as you can see here in fair, you have the outer 2, those. Then you have this one there, and then that one there. You're going to see what it does here. So this one, it's going to have the, I think it has the 23 next. Oh, no, that's 32. Never mind. It's not doing anything funky yet. Oops. Hold on. See, I'm trying to figure out how I should straighten this. It doesn't look straight. So I'm going to try, let me try straightening to that. See, but now it looks less straight. Okay, that's better. So this is the 32 switch. See, it still looks a little out of whack. I don't know. All right. Next. So again, nothing still looks entirely. And here we have the the end of the MU yard there. I think NJT was really planning on trying to get that MU yard replaced. Now here's something I'm not sure if it's still there or not, and something I didn't quite notice. They had an intermediate dwarf signal there. Again, I'm not sure if they replaced it. I can go onto the overhead, because if they replaced it, I bet they'd put an axis. They might have put a transponder there. Why am I zooming out? There's New Brunswick. There's county. Let's see if I can see it if that dwarf is there. I can't tell. I don't think it is. I think they think they removed it as a simplification. Could be right there. I can't see. So anyway, that's interesting. I'll have to go check on that. I didn't even notice that little dwarf signal was there. So same thing, Amtrak programmatically names its, I think I want a little bit more. I don't know. Do I want to crop all that stuff out? Because I'm losing a whole bunch of the MU yard. All right, I'll do that. So that's again, we have the 32 switch, and then that would be the, if I go back to my diagram cheat sheet, the first one is going to be, that's track 1, so it's 1 west, and the second one is usually 1 WA, or I think it's officially like 1AW. Sometimes I go 1A, 1 WA, just so it lines up better. When I'm when you're scrolling through file names. But I think I'll do 1AW. So if you have 2, one of them is an A and B. It's nothing and then A. If I go to my documentation here, I can pull up. Let's see here. Here's county. Oh, so it used to be that used to be a dwarf signal for a siding that no longer exists, and that's why they removed it. Yeah, there's no reason to have that there. Of course, even to this day, county is the northern end, or at least it was. There was still a bunch of they might have, when they re-signaled it. When that whole section got re-signaled south of county to Rule 562, everything got bidirectional. So that section of Rule 251 on those outer tracks between Hamilton and here is now gone. County was always an electric plant. It was what they call the Style C machine, meaning that it was a like a unit lever. Not a CTC, but it would look like a CTC machine. And I think it was highly possible that county was, while remote controlled, was quite possibly unresignaled, and you'll see why I think that. There's a bunch of reasons. See, this is how I learn things when I go back and do this stuff. Here, so we have these first ones. You only have 3 signals going south because it's going into Rule 250. This was Rule 251 north of here. So we only had three high signals. The other one was a dwarf. Next, this is where we are now, and you have that vestigial dwarf from back in the day. But I'm highly suspecting there's one other reason I'll show you that the county might have been unresignaled, in that the original relay plant inside the quote unquote tower was probably just there under remote CTEC control. That would have been interesting. Well, it is interesting because sometimes you'll find this stuff, old signaling, living on. All right, next. So now you can see what the odd deal is. I'm not sure this is on the original diagram. Yeah. So we have a second switch from track. So this allows parallel moves. So you can have a train coming up on the express track, and it can swap over to the local to allow a Jersey Avenue train to pull out on the express track, or something similar. So that said, so Jersey Ave is not county interlocking, was not your typical place, and let's see if they've kept that today. Maybe they pulled that out. They might have pulled it. So there's that signal bridge. There's that one. Yep, they actually removed that. Look at that. They removed the parallel crossover capability at county. So there you go. But it was done after they put in the new switches, and you can see that switch is not. This switch here does not have the concrete. So, where am I going? Nope. I gotta find that diagram. Here's the diagram. The way you do multiple switches in a direction. Oh, I don't have that. It's the same thing. It's See, Trenton has the old fare numbers. I'm trying to figure out what you do for. I think it's just A. Oh, it's direction. So it would be like, it's usually like 1E for a duplicate switch machine. So I'm not sure which direction they're going. Probably in increasing milepost order. This is how you reverse engineer labels when you don't have the actual documentation handy. Okay, so here we have, go back to my diagram. Off to the side, that's the 43 switch, track 3 to track 4. And then we have another 21. It would be like 21W, the 21W switch. So duplicate signals get an A, and duplicate switches get a direction. I'm pretty sure it's a direction. Because if a turnout has 2 switches, those get A's and B's. So far one, I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is, but when you have this whole second switch, it would be like one end of it would be the 21EA switch. Come on, where's that? Okay, 43 and 21A, or 21W. 21W switch. Eastbound. Oh, there's the yard access right there. That guy. If I unzoom, I can zoom into it. So in theory, there's a second way to get onto the line, but it's rarely ever used, that whole little escape track there. And there is the original county tower. Yes, that was a tower. The operator was at the far end, and it's looking highly likely, like I said, that. Oh, that's what they were doing. They weren't putting in a duplicate switch. The end of the interlocking. Oh, I got this completely wrong. Now I feel stupid. The end of the interlocking was recessed, so the first switch may or may not have been in service. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that 21 is because the interlocking was like you'd have your signal and then like nothing would be around. It would have had this long period of nothing, and they just sort of filled it in with higher speed switches. It's the new 21 switch. That's what it is. Okay. Anyway, you can sort of see, yeah, because that's why they have all that stuff down there, and then like a whole other set of stuff. It's because they were rebuilding it. I think that 34 is in service. Yeah, it's a new 32 switch. And that's a new 43 switch. And here we have the old 43 switch. There's the old 32, and this is the 23. So I'm not going to... In here, they're not old. They're what's currently in service. '43 and 23. And here we have the eastbound home signal, and one reason why I suspect that it may have been quote unquote, as I said, unre-signaled versus, remote controlled. It was remote controlled. It was not an active tower, but as an all relay interlocking plan, it might have definitely been left to its own devices, just put under supervision. This was the last place on the NEC. The last place I even know about anywhere is Bryn Mawr, but this is the last place in the NEC that used limited speed diamonds. These again went out when they did some resignaling. When they did resignal it in anticipation of the stimulus-funded improvements. But this is your these and at least the distance going going west had limited speed diamonds, and they're on the eastbound signals too. That means they never had the flashing aspect. This just upgrades them to limited speed. Also notice first generation access transponders between County and Trenton was one of the places where Amtrak installed the PTC system in 2000 to allow higher speed Acela, 135 versus 120. Also, you can't really see it, but these non-LED signals on those two, it's a stop on track 2 here, or track 3, and then 2 clears, which is typical for today. Just cleaning up some of the names here. Okay, no, sorry about that. Yep, didn't take pictures for a while, and here I have a surprisingly nice picture of Perry Tower with the old Penn Central sign, which I can never quite remember if it is or is not still there. Since this time, a lot of this undergrowth around Perry has been removed. I'm over there. I'd love to go like sneak around there, but without that undergrowth, it's a little more exposed. I've been in that area, and they've been putting up more. There's more fences and stuff. Well, that's the main thing of the county. So they said we're almost done this whole. I think there's 2 bits to this photo set, but let me just see if I'm sure I named this thing something before. Yeah, see, as of 2010, that Penn Central sign has been stolen. So this is 2011. So the Amtrak sign is still there, but it appears that the Penn Central sign was nicked. Here is a this is the picture, I think. No, that's not it. There it is. So 2005 that was there. Huh, they even had a little Perry sign on the Amtrak cabin. 2016. Yeah, the windows got broken sometime after 20. Yeah, see, I just don't have a good photo of the other side. You know, of all the times I take a picture, I only have like 3 of the opposite side. Oh man. Yeah, but this one from 2010 clearly shows that the Penn Central sign was stolen. So let's try to get rid of some of this red tint. God damn. Speaking of towers like Perry, if anyone lives near I recently got some interior photos of Cola Tower. If you saw my my post about it, the CTC console's removed, but there's a lot of other neat stuff in there. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat here. No, favorite engine. You have to definitely narrow that question down. Like Amtrak engine, freight engine, all time, like there's too many categories. I mean, I think to some degree I'm probably obligated to say a GG one. There's just nothing else that I could think would be more interesting. All those one-offs kind of deserve to be, but yeah, that's sort of a broad question to ask. Here we have some nice Perryville substation photos. This is where the 425 hertz circuits come in from Safe Harbor. They travel via utility style. For those of you who don't know, there's a utility style power line that goes from Perryville substation up to the Safe Harbor Dam. You wouldn't notice it you probably wouldn't notice it even if you drove under it, but you might notice that instead of having 3 triples of wires for the 3-phase power, it has 4 pairs, which are the 4 single-phase circuits, 25 hertz, running down from the Safe Harbor Dam to Perryville. At which point they do some jujitsu and basically sort of 2 of them, feed up toward Wilmington, and 2 of them feed down toward DC. It's a split phase arrangement, just like your house. So it's plus 69,000 volts and minus 69,000 volts. So between each pair of wires between the two, that gives you the figure stated of 138,000 volts. It's phase to phase, not or peak to peak, not line to ground. Anyway, I should have a nice problem is that I should be able to find this picture pretty quickly, but I went to Perryville, so I have a ton of other photos of the substation. Yeah, see, here's the utility style ones with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wires, not 9, not 6. I don't think I'm just going to give these things new names because I can't find them here. It's no point. All right. I wonder if this is a photo I uploaded to Wikipedia on the Amtrak's 25 hertz power system page. What do they call that? I called it something. But I wonder if I use that picture on the Wikipedia page. Oh, surprisingly, I don't have Wikipedia thing up. Just see if it appears. I may or may not have thrown one up here. No, I didn't. Just wanted to check. I don't even know if so here is just me trying to take a picture of that utility, the safe harbor line. You can barely see it. I can't really brighten this or anything. So it's sort of like pick out the best chunk of the thing, probably right there. Oh, that's interesting. There's a whole marina and dock. They built a marina in there. I'm still up in North Jersey. If I shoot down to the Susquehanna, don't crash the browser. Yeah, in the many years since, they added a viewing dock that you can go out there. So it's nominally a dock for boats, but it's mainly used by people who are doing bird watching or watching the trains. It's a really good photo vantage point. See, there's your substation, and then there's Perry Tower, and they sort of, they put a whole bunch of fences and stuff in there. You can see there's the fence line going up there. In fact, it looks like the whole tower has been surrounded by one of those anti-terrorism expanded mesh fences. So I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to get in close to that. Unfortunately, if I ever, if me or an urban exploring buddy ever went in there. Anyway, so this shows what it looks like before the dock. I gotta hurry up here before I waste. And here we have our Route 40 bridge and the 25 hertz thing. With some nice upscale developments. I'm gonna shrink this in. I don't need to show all those upscale developments there. The condos. That place where the condos are, that actually used to be a pretty substantial Pennsylvania Railroad yard. So yeah, see, there's where all the condos and such are, and that's where the PRR Perryville yard used to be. Trains would come down, coal trains mostly, and this part that I was showing earlier, running behind Perry Tower. That was actually a duck under for nominally the Columbian Port Deposit would terminate at this Y, but the Perryville Yard offered a duck under, and then trains would pop up here and come in. I think there was there's a maintenance away facility over there, but they would come in and do something, probably go down to Prince or whatever. All that is now a public park and condos. And this also explains why NEC interlocking way up here, what used to just be, why is there an interlocking with no switches? And, it was eventually turned into just a automatic. Well, that was the end of the yard. So you'd have a crossover and a yard lead. The C&PD track would go up, and the yard lead would head over down here to Perryville Yard. It's all been built over. Same thing at Port Deposit. There was a huge shipyard there. They made the Fort McHenry tunnel sections, and now it's all condos. Before you bemoan the loss of industrial capacity, just remember that it all moved to the south, and things moved. It moved there because no one wants to live in the south, so the land is cheap. But this was a desirable location, and it's just a reallocation of resources. I'm gonna keep this under. The Amtrak Perryville moniker because I don't really care to put this under the Route 40 bridge. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna speed through a bunch of these here. In fact, I have no clue where these even are. I got to sort of figure out where the hell I even named these goddamn pictures. Where is this? So what you're looking at here is in Baltimore where they're doing a street repaving job, and they've done the grind down. Under a lot of the streets in Baltimore is brick paving. In fact, there's actually a bunch of brick line paved streets in the worst neighborhoods. It's like the place where the road crews are too afraid to go. They still have brick paved streets. And near where I used to live in the city, I think that this is 26th and Maryland. They scraped everything away, and you can see the original brick paving. Sometimes you see trolley tracks too, but not on this street. So there's not much I can really talk about here train-wise. It's brick paving, but at the same point, it's still pretty interesting that you literally scratch the surface, and you can find really neat historical stuff. And the best part is when they do this, they don't go and then rip it all out. No, is this 26th in Maryland? I don't know. Oh. I could try to figure out what I called it before. and they weren't going to go in with a backhoe and dig this all out. They're just going to slap down another layer of asphalt. Looks like they just slapped down the first layer of asphalt. Now the bricks took a hit here, as you can see from the sort of the paving grindy machine. Oh, it's 28th in Maryland. Okay, there you go. See, I knew it was something in Maryland. I'm just gonna. I guess old me had the right idea. So you can see how the grindy machine has taken a good chunk out of them. But they just paved it right back over. In fact, a lot of places that the grinding machine didn't even damage the bricks. Fun fact, or so I've been told, paving brick is a special kind of brick. You can't just go and don't try to repave your city's downtown street with regular bricks. Here we have a close-up of the crosswalk itself. Again, look at the it's not paint. They used white bricks, so it's paved in the typical red ones. But for crosswalks and center lines, they would use white bricks. Really clever. And here you have a close-up showing the damage from the grinding machines. But it's it is what it is. A lot of them escaped okay. Just make sure this is. I'm trying to get as fast as I can through these to not waste your good valuable time here. And there we go. Okay. Let's see what people have to say. No, I always try to check on the chat between the stuffs. All right. I see no questions, so I'm gonna move on. So that was all the photos I have technically in this one set from doing county stuff, and those all dated from September of 2005. What I'm going now are a variety of photos that came from. So I said random stuff when a graduation, a party, stuff in spring. So these are all from the spring of 2005. I'm going to dump them into another set of photos that I already had done. I actually did a stream on. I forgot to upload it, and it's a short one. I'm going to just dump it in there because it's from the same period of time. Unfortunately, it's going from crosswalks to boats. Let me just see if I can. Not all boats, but I think I took I was on the Staten Island ferry. And I just got to need to find what it's on. Hold on. I'm sure I'll have the name. Huh, maybe I never used these photos. Probably just dumped them. This is going to be a time for Google. Nope. Oh, well, it actually tells you where the ship is. It's still around, and it's in near China, of course. Flying that flag of convenience. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna try to get through these quickly, so I don't waste your time. The ship fanning community is surprisingly. I mean, it's really easy to find info on ships. I mean, I guess locomotives are pretty dime a dozen. But you can have the smallest ship, and you'll get all sorts of crazy information, including live tracking. You know, imagine putting that in and getting a live track of whatever locomotive I know that the Heritage Unit website kind of provides that service, but not with any particular granularity. Can I even pull up a name on that? Nah. So he would just have the Verrazano-Narrows Bridge. It took me a while to figure out where the hell these photos were from. Like, Verrazano Bridge? But I wasn't taking that sandy ferry from the Rockaways in 2005. That didn't exist yet. I gotta figure out how to make sure I'm spelling that right. Obviously not, but now I got it. I wonder if Google knows how many of its searches are for spell checks. I mean, yes, they do. But I would like to know how many of its searches are for spell checks. That would be a bit of information that I would love to see a tweet about. Still having issues with the history not showing up. I'm not going to do all of these too. There's a couple that are kind of blurry and crappy, and I'll just delete. Wish I could use the widescreen for this. Dead air. Dead air. That's the one. Do I have a better one of that? Yeah. This is just blurry. I'm just gonna kill that one. Cause at some point you gotta make a stand. No, I do not need an extra boat photo. There we go. Finally got through all those. Great. At this point in 2005, North Philadelphia Tower was kind of getting on the ropes. Here we have the road bridge that is also the eastbound signal bridge, and I'm getting again. I was hearing, or I'd seen, or whatever, that they're putting in the new modern style signal bridge for eastbound trains, and I was again camped out in the rear vestibule trying to get a couple pictures of what was going on. And I just gotta go find whatever bridge that is. It's something street bridge. One of my Amtrak friends was trying to so when they do qualification, one of the questions that was asked for physical characteristics qualifications was where is the I think at the time they said only, but it might have been, now he says, well, it was the last diamond on the Northeast Corridor on a main track, and not a scissors crossover. It was actually at North Philadelphia. We had these station tracks coming off here, and one of them had a diamond right there. Anyway, the bridge in question is a guy, and this used to have the signals on it too. Margie Street? I think so. Is that still closed? Yes. Yeah, this bridge is like unsafe. But I think I assume they let you walk over it. And next we have the famous 6-track signal bridge here at North Philadelphia. That diamond is sort of where I'm showing the mouse. And here we have it with the with one of the two westbound PRR high signals has been LED'd, and the other one has not. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Like, should I crop out the platform? Also, remember the previous realignment that they had done. There we go, right there. I'll do that. Boom. I can see what I called this back in the day. Here we go. Man, I got a lot of North Philadelphia pictures. And they're all crappy. They're all small. I went out there until they closed it, then I didn't care anymore. Yeah, here's the old signals with train order lights and everything. Yep, there's the picture I just did. And then that one. See, this is where not having a good zoom camera really hurt me in 2005, because I could have done a way better job. I could have done a way better job documenting it, but I just did not have the optics to be able to get it done. Oh. This is AEM7 9XD8. Oh, man. Oh, man. I think it's an AC, but I don't know. So this is me fooling around with night photography at, or quote-unquote night, because who knows what it is, at Penn Station. 8. Gotta put an X in there. I was gonna run. I'm on that Amtrak Northeast Corridor Facebook group, and I probably should have started doing this a month ago. But for as long as no one's really on the trains, I never did a farewell to the AEM7. Like, here's a picture of all the AEM7s. I did that for the HHP8s. I did like the month of HHP8s because there's only 15 of them. And I just, like, every day I would throw up another HHP8 picture. You know, I got them all. Of course, you can't get all the AM7s. I mean, you couldn't have because 2 of them were already crashed, and then 950, a couple caught fire. So, just more 98. I'm gonna call it 918, but I do not know what that is. So it's 20XD6. I mean 9XD8. What the? Alright, anyway. Here we have some New Haven photos. Again, I'm reversing my old policy of I used to again label these sequentially due to a poor decision I made first in 1999. Import. like why won't the history show that? Oh, unknown error. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, so let's see. We have the 2E and the 1E signals at New Haven. These are still tower controlled, I think, at this time. SS75 didn't. When did that close? Maybe it was around this time. I probably should got the. So that. Hold on. $952. Come on. Oh, I don't know what number that guy is. Looks like 190. I'll call it 190. All right. And here we have something that still see the old Springfield shuttles. Or shittles, if you don't like the service. But service is better since you have that Hartford commuter rail. But, yeah, I was on these for a whole bunch of time. That whole operation was surprisingly smooth, actually. The service was super spotty, but, you know, you get on, you're on it for about a few minutes, and you got to do the change of trains. And we're almost down to our last little bit of stuff here. Let's see if I can get people out. What's going on? Nope, that's not what I need. This is what I need. Are people still here? People still seeing stuff? North Philadelphia again. It's like, you know, I keep getting back to that. Anyway, got some dock. All kinds of miscellaneous junk. So this then phase 5 was still looking pretty good here. So here we have 929 poorly framed at New Haven. What do I want to do with this? This is not good. I mean, it's clearly, I don't know. Vertical is vertical. All right, I think it's just poorly framed. Maybe I'll tweak it a little bit to make it look a bit more straight. Okay, that's better. Man, I feel, you know, again, it's that same thing when I talk about this a lot. When I was at New Haven a lot, you know, when I was frequently at New Haven, I would take some pictures, but I didn't take a lot because it was this, you know, it was like, okay, a whole bunch of Amtrak stuff that I see all the time. Right, I have a lot of Amtrak pictures, but like the M2s and the M246s, you know, they were so bland, and they replaced them with something even blander. And I'm now like, well, no, I didn't mean what I said. Give me the first ones back. The whole Metropolitan Cosmopolitans look whatchamacallit enough, modern enough that you didn't think, you weren't thinking to them of, oh, I wish I had the old stuff here. The old stuff with the ACMUs or the washboards or whatever. Oh wow, I got both of them here in the same shot, same frame here. If I just need to find a way to frame it right. Here we go. That's better. Wonderful. I remember submitting photos to railpictures.net way back in the day, back when it was a lot easier to get stuff in there. And one of the pictures was like this one, like perfect, like beautiful. In fact, I should, if I didn't submit that, I probably would do it again. But there was a trash bag sitting on the platform, and I know they always reject stuff like that, so I digitally edited it out, and then I got it accepted. 926. So here I got 926 pulling out as 952 pulls in here. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, just a little more color. There it goes. Here we have the waterfront connection as seen from approximately Hudson Interlocking. What's left of Hudson Interlocking. Yeah, they're going on and on about replacing that the Sawtooth Bridge at the flyover too. But we'll see. I don't think there's going to be a lot of money flowing around for transit in the next bunch of years. So. Plus your New Jersey Turnpike Bridge there. I keep going to the wrong one. NJTPK Eastbound. Got it. Next. People call this the no point bridge. I just call it Carney. I think it used a separate bridge cabin. I don't know how often it opens now. This is just when I'm caught off guard by not having my New Jersey Transit line diagram. What interlocking is that? Oh, I bet. Let's see if Wikimapia will save me, because I might have. It's something silly named like Maple or something. Front, water, something like that. Staten Island. Great. Someone has labeled it as interlocking. Oh, maybe it's Meadow. God, this pisses me off when people are lazy. I'm not going to subject you to me going to get my NJT ETT, which I do have here, and looking it up. So I'll just rename it later. That drawbridge is used by, that's the old PR freight route. The freight would branch off at Waverly Yard, which is where the Lehigh line goes over. Today they've connected that all up, so this goes sort of the container terminal over the path tracks. The 25 hertz transmission lines follow that route. Here we have Hudson Interlocking. These are the if Hudson was still open, it had just closed. Hudson closed in either 2003, somewhere in the time frame of 2003 to 2005. SEPTA's stuff all closed in like 2003. So there's a lot of closures in and about this time. But those look like they've been redone. So I'm thinking that this is... And there's the old Path Diamond. That's been... Maybe at some point that got cut. So that was your... that was Path's like... Oh, we have an interlocked... Path is always like... well, Path is... It's going to be a railroad from now until the end of time. But it didn't... Even though it didn't have a PR connection, it did have interlocked tracks with Amtrak. And it was just like any other railroad. I'm going to make the assumption, I'm going to work on the assumption that Hudson was still open, and I'm going to just go from there in terms of labeling, because it's so close. And I have the chart. I did have the chart. I bet it's under dock. Oh, there it is. There we go. That would be 44R dwarf signals. And there is the famous Hudson Diamond. Sort of the red here. So, yeah. There we go. Hey, PA series, PA somethings. I think most of them were 3s, but let's see. I can see if I can actually read the numbers. 172, 7 something something, and 662. Is that a 6? It's like blob, blob, blob. I can read the 172. Oops. All these stunning side window Amtrak shots. Oh, that was a spring frog I was trying to get a picture of. See if I can color balance this one. There it goes. That's better. Sometimes I forget that I have the color balance, and at certain points you really got to use that as opposed to just trying to reduce the amount of red manually. Little tip there. This is some switch and ray interlocking. Just going to label it quickly and move on. Here we have a nice A5 point machine and dock. This looks like 65. It all comes back to dock, where we started. There it is. Yeah, that's the 65 switch. A5 points and CP valve. And your obligatory, we're out of air pressure wedge. For those of you who, and your point heater shields. So look, so that thing right there, that's a wedge for spiking and wedging. But they're particularly useful here. Well, they're particularly found around air switches, even on Conrail, whatever. I noticed them, because if you had a low air problem, you had to spike and wedge before trains movements could proceed. 65 switch A5 plus points plus CP side. Yeah, now we're on the trolley. Oh, this is. I'm not sure if this was before or after, but I'd seen it elsewhere. But again, here I have this nice sort of inside, under the skin look of an A5 point machine here at dock with the airline and the Harrison platform behind it. This had been hanging for a while, and at some point it completely rusted over. I think that one up in South Linden is still there, but I'm not entirely sure. Hudson was known for its Mondo beefy gas-powered point heaters, which I think are now electric. Boo. Because you had the shrouds, I don't think you got that sort of Jamaica burning effect. I wonder which one this is. It's not 65. It would be 67. Way too much blue there. Let's see a little color balance. See, I always forget to use the color balance when it's available. Sometimes it just doesn't work, so that's why I get sort of burnt out with it. Anyway. $67. I'm going to rename that and just say plus pipelines instead of calling them out. Oh, damn it. There we go. Oh, here we have this. Oh, yeah, there's no way I can straighten this one. I'm sure that this is where I was like, wow, dock has a bay window. I got to get a picture of that. And this is what I came up with. Well, this is what I should have come up with, but instead I have that one there. Let's just see what I can come away with. There's divide. I know I saved this somewhere. I just got to find what I called it before. Oh. There it is. Well, it's not a good name for it. Getting in there. Oh, hey, an ALP 44. That's not an M. That's a regular 44 at either Linden or Rahway. I want to find a way to crop this down. I guess that works. I wonder if this is Rahway or Linden. It looks like Rahway. Because the next one is Union. I would have been looking out for Union Tower, which again was still in service. I think at least till 2009 or later. I have to recheck that one. That was one of those other towers where you could, at certain times at night, you could look through the window of the tower and see the model board as you passed by on the NEC, which was always cool. Yep, little bit of, and I gotta remember to use the color balance, or try it. All right, let's see where this one is. There it is. Or I think. That it? Yeah, it looks like it. Man, I did a poor job back then. What? Yeah. Here we have Bennett Levin's Judiana Terminal. I never know what that E8 is. That looks like, you know, I don't, again, he's the one who put up the Fire Anderson signs. So I guess he got his, see, this is where the color balancing doesn't seem to help too much. So I'm just going to do it manually down and then clear it up a bit. And last one, we got one more North Philadelphia. That was really, I mean, in 2005, when the LED signals were going up, it was clear that, like, better get some pictures of North Philadelphia Tower. You don't know if it's going to get knocked down or what. It was also just a nice thing to sort of have a picture of it when you know that it's operational. I mean, today it's still standing, but it's all boarded up and etc. So. Nice, decent quality picture. Again, trains are going only about 60 miles an hour through there. And I just got to find the tower. All right, just got to find the picture to get the yeah, this is where there's the diamond. Oh, you can't really see it there. I have the picture of the diamond somewhere. Come on. There it is. Oh, all number 7. Yeah, way better job I'm doing now. All right, here we go. That's it. Let's see if anybody had any questions. Thank you for showing. I know this one was a little bit boring. All right, thanks for coming by. I'm glad I was able to give you some nice stuff. Anyone who lives in near Columbia, Pennsylvania, on the Susquehanna, if any of you do, this is for people who are there now. For at this time, send me a private. Send me some sort of private message. I've got some tips on some stuff in the area. Other stuff. Again, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I've got a bunch of things in the queue. The next one will probably be stuff for an Albany. I have another single one for a trip to Albany, and I also got that R3, R5 trip where somehow I drove out with someone to Thorndale, and then we took a train to West Trenton, and then back to Thorndale in 2003. I think the Thorndale station was new, so that's sort of the longest possible. I think that's the longest possible SEPTA trip, but I could be mistaken. But that's going to be at least 3 parts. So I'm hoping if I'm home for an extended period of time, maybe around 4th of July, I'll do that. I don't like leaving you guys hanging. But anyway, for the next period of time, I'm likely to do those Albany pictures. Let's see, it's 66, so I think I can get the stuff out of there to do it in one night. Anyway, it's been late. I got to get to bedish, so you guys have a great time. Stay safe. Do stuff. Do whatever you can to reduce your risk, okay? You can do a lot if you just take simple precautions. Face masks, staying away from people. In fact, social distancing requirements are almost telling you to go out and do rail fanning because, that doesn't involve anybody. Just the trains. All right, so have fun, and I will talk to you in 2 weeks, Friday, 10 p.m. All right?